The first thing they found was the tent. It was ripped open from the inside, the jagged tear fluttering in the freezing wind like a gaping wound. Scattered around it, as it dropped mid-flight, were boots, jackets, and equipment, everything a person would need to survive the merciless cold of a Russian winter. But the hikers were gone. 9 experienced mountaineers vanished into the wilderness of the Ural Mountains in 1959. What they left behind was more terrifying than their disappearance. It began innocently enough. A group of friends, young and eager, setting out on what should have been just another adventure. Photos from the early days of their journey show smiling faces, snowball fights, and campfires crackling under a blanket of stars. They named the route after their leader, Igor Dyatlov, a seasoned trekker with a knack for organizing such expeditions. But then, things took a turn. 2 days before their last camp was found, one of the hikers, Yuri Yudin, turned back due to illness. He waved goodbye, unaware he'd never see his friends again. When the search party finally located the campsite weeks later, the story grew darker. The tent was slashed open, not unzipped, but cut, and from the inside. It was as if something, or someone, terrifying enough to make them abandon shelter had forced its way in. The first bodies were found just a short distance from the tent. They were barefoot, dressed only in their underclothes, huddled near the remains of a small fire. Their faces were frozen in expressions of anguish, hands curled as if clawing at the ground. Further away, in the thick snow, searchers discovered more bodies, each one leading them deeper into the horrifying mystery. Some had fractured skulls and broken ribs, injuries so severe they resembled those from a car crash, yet there were no external wounds. One of the hikers, a young woman, was found with her tongue missing, her eyes gone. And then there was the radiation. Their clothing, upon analysis, was found to contain trace amounts of radiation, levels far beyond what could be considered normal. It was as though they'd brushed against something not of this earth, something deadly and unknowable. Theories sprung up like weeds. Some whispered about a military experiment gone wrong. Others spoke of an avalanche, though the scene didn't fit the pattern. And there were those who dared to suggest the unthinkable. Aliens, or some ancient, malevolent force that dwelled in the mountains, awakened by the hikers' intrusion. Yuri Yudin, the only survivor by chance, said in later interviews that his friends were experienced, careful, and prepared. But whatever happened that night, they hadn't stood a chance. Years later, hikers passing through the area report strange occurrences. A deep, unnatural quiet that seems to blanket the pass, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. Some claim they've seen glowing lights flickering in the sky, the same lights that locals had reported on the night the group vanished. And now, decades later, the mystery of Dyatlov Pass remains unsolved. Were they victims of human error, or something far more sinister? The truth is buried in the snow, alongside the remains, and the whispers of what happened at night still haunt the frozen wilderness. Sometimes, late at night, when the wind howls and the shadows stretch too long, you can almost hear their cries echoing from the pass, desperate, terrified, and unanswered.